I think that when I sit with it for a second here, I just want people to know that I'm a real person. My friends have to read those things. Like, I have real best friends.
The studio was filled with a strange kind of silence. It was not the silence of peace, it was the silence that comes before a storm. Every person inside the Jennifer Hudson show could feel it. Crew members moved quickly across the stage, adjusting lights, checking microphones, and whispering to one another. The audience sat in their seats with a mixture of curiosity and tension, unsure whether they were about to witness an ordinary celebrity interview or something far more explosive. Everyone remembered what happened the last time. Then, the music. Rose. Jennifer Hudson stepped onto the stage with her signature confidence and warmth. Her smile bright enough to light up the room. But behind that graceful smile was something stronger: control. "Welcome back, everybody," she said with a smooth, practiced tone. The audience applauded today. Jennifer continued, "We're welcoming someone who has remained at the center of global conversations for years. Please welcome Meghan Markle." The applause grew louder. Though it carried hesitation, then Meghan entered. She walked with the poise of someone who knew every eye in the room was locked on her. Her white dress was elegant, her posture flawless, and her expression carefully composed. Jennifer stepped forward to greet her. "Meghan, welcome back." "Thank you," Meghan replied softly. Though there was a coolness in her voice, both women took their seats. For a moment, everything seemed calm. Jennifer began gently. "So Meghan, it's been quite some time since we last spoke. A lot has changed in your life, new projects, new ventures, and many public discussions surrounding your journey. How does it feel to be back in the spotlight?" Meghan's lips curved into a small, controlled smile. "Well, Jennifer," she said, "I never really left the spotlight. People simply keep deciding how they want to interpret my presence." A ripple of nervous laughter moved through the audience. Jennifer nodded professionally. "All right, let me put it another way. How have you been personally, emotionally?" Meghan's expression sharpened. "I don't measure my peace based on public opinion," she replied. "I'm grounded. I'm evolving." The tension in the room grew slightly. Jennifer, still composed, shifted the conversation. "You've recently launched a new nonprofit initiative focused on empowering women. Tell us what inspired it." For a brief second, Meghan softened. Then, her voice took on an edge. "What inspired it?" she repeated. "Vision, awareness, a level of understanding that not everyone possesses." Several people in the audience exchanged looks. Jennifer maintained her smile. "Think people would love to understand your mission." Meghan leaned back. "Sometimes," she said coolly, "people should simply listen rather than constantly demanding explanations." That line changed the atmosphere. The room suddenly felt colder. Jennifer paused for a moment, then gracefully moved on. "Let's talk about family. How are Harry and the children doing?" Meghan's eyes flashed. "They're doing well," she answered quickly. "Though I do find it repetitive that people always focus on my marriage first." The audience went quiet. Jennifer could feel the conversation slipping into dangerous territory. Still, she remained calm. "Well, after the break," Jennifer said, smoothly turning toward the camera, "we'll continue this conversation." The applause came, but it felt forced. This was no longer just an interview. It was becoming a confrontation. When the show returned from the break, the energy had changed completely. The applause sign flashed, but the clapping felt uncertain. Jennifer's smile remained professional, but the warmth had started to fade. She turned toward Meghan. "Welcome back," she said. Then, carefully, she asked, "Earlier, you mentioned feeling misunderstood by the public. Could you explain what you meant by that?" Meghan lifted her chin. "Slightly. People believe they understand me because they read headlines," she said. "But headlines are written for people who don't understand nuance." The audience murmured. Jennifer's eyebrows lifted. "Are you saying the public doesn't understand you?" Meghan gave a cold smile. "I'm saying I've moved beyond the public's expectations. Jennifer took a slow breath. Let's talk about leadership, she said. Some former staff members have described your style as intense. How would you respond to that? The room went still. Meghan leaned back. Strong women are always called intense, she said sharply. I were a man. People would call me decisive. A few audience members nodded, but Jennifer didn't let it end there. Some people who worked closely with you have said communication was difficult. Before Jennifer could finish, Meghan cut in. Excuse me? Are we really doing this? Stayed calm. I'm giving you the opportunity to respond directly. Meghan let out a short, dismissive laugh. Those people simply couldn't meet my standards. The tension thickened. Jennifer shifted again. All right, let's talk about motherhood. What has being a mother taught you? For the first time. Meghan's face softened, then her tone hardened once again. It taught me that my children deserve better than what the world gave me. Jennifer paused. Better than what? Meghan's response came instantly. Better than the media. Better. Then institutions, better than constant dissection. Jennifer sat straighter. I understand protecting your children, she said carefully. But you're here because people want to hear your story. Meghan laughed, cold and humorless. People only care when I fit the character they've created for me. That line sent a visible wave through the audience. Jennifer now looked directly at her. Do you ever feel responsibility for how your words affect others? That question landed heavily. Meghan's expression froze. My responsibility, she replied, is to myself and my children. Jennifer pressed gently. But when millions hear your words, those words shape how people see others. Meghan's voice sharpened. Are you comparing me to the media? I'm asking about impact, Jennifer replied calmly. For a moment, silence filled the studio. This was no longer a celebrity interview. This had become personal by the time the final segment began. Everyone in the room could feel it. Something was about to happen. Jennifer placed her cards aside. This time, she wasn't following the script anymore, Meghan, she said calmly. I invited you here because I believed we could have an honest conversation. Meghan stared back silently. Jennifer continued. But every question I've asked has been treated as an attack. Meghan leaned forward immediately, because that's exactly what they were. The audience gasped softly. Jennifer took a breath. No, she said firmly. They were attempts to understand you. Meghan crossed her arms. I speak my truth. I don't soften reality to make people comfortable. Jennifer's voice became sharper. There's a difference between speaking your truth and shutting down every question you dislike. Light applause broke out from the audience. Meghan blinked, visibly stunned. So now I'm being judged on national television. Jennifer didn't flinch. No, she said, but this has stopped being a conversation. The room fell silent. Then Meghan played her final card. I thought you stood for women supporting women. The moment those words left her mouth, Jennifer's expression changed completely. Her warmth disappeared. What remained was pure clarity, supporting women. Jennifer said slowly, does not mean accepting disrespect. The audience reacted audibly. It doesn't mean allowing someone to dismiss everyone around them and call it honesty. Meghan's face tightened with anger. You're twisting everything. Jennifer shook her head. No, Meghan. You came here ready for a fight. The words hit like thunder. The studio was completely silent now. Jennifer continued. I've tried every way possible to keep this healthy. But you've dismissed your family, your critics, your colleagues. And now? You're dismissing me? Meghan looked shocked. Then Jennifer delivered the line that changed everything. I cannot continue an interview where the guest refuses to engage in good faith. Meghan stared at her. What does that mean? Jennifer looked directly into her eyes. It means this interview is over. The audience gasped. Some even began clapping. Meghan stood up abruptly. You're ending this? Yes, Jennifer said calmly. because this is no longer healthy for anyone involved. Meghan's voice rose with disbelief. This is outrageous. Jennifer remained seated, composed, and dignified. I wish you well, she said softly. Meghan removed her microphone and dropped it onto the chair. Then she turned and walked off the stage. The cameras followed her as she disappeared behind the curtains. The audience sat frozen. Jennifer faced the camera one final time. Ladies and gentlemen, she said gracefully, we'll be right back. And with that, one of the most dramatic talk show moments had come to an end.